we've heard a lot of things fall. You know, we've heard a lot of loud noises as some of these homes have come down. And again, I want to show you just right across the street from these two homes. It's just devastating. The outlines of these homes are barely even there. I mean, you can kind of see a washer and dryer left, but it's really just the strong winds are what make this fire go so fast. We talked to some Culver City firefighters off camera before, and I asked, you know, they had two hoses going on one of the houses across the street. I said, why'd you guys stop? Where are you going now? And he said, just down the road, we got word that there are some houses that still can be saved, and that's where we're heading. And so you're seeing here, this is really an all hands on deck situation. Culver City firefighters, LA County firefighters, Ventura County firefighters. We saw some Oxnard firefighters. Everyone is here trying to help save these neighborhoods, these homes. Again, we're on Valley Vista Road. We're really kind of sandwiched between Las Posas Estates and Camarillo Heights here, and there is an evacuation in order, and it really has been almost like a ghost town since we got here. So many people followed that evacuation order. So many people got out. So you know, that is the good news, but I don't even know if you can say that. I mean, this is a neighborhood, this is a community, these are people's homes that they can't come back to. And it's really devastating. Our hearts go out to them. It's been sad to stand here and watch this. That's how I'm feeling right now. It's been devastating.
It certainly is to see these devastating images. We agree with you completely, Sophie. It is so heartbreaking. You know, we've been talking about these red flag warnings that they were going to hit our area. Firefighters have been on alert. Danny Romero, you're tracking this severe wind event that's happening right now and prompting these poor people to look at their homes go up in flames.
Yeah, it is kind of a sad commentary on the fact that we, you know, because it's our job, we let you know every time, hey, look, these conditions are going to be happening right about midweek. The red flag warnings, the high wind warnings, been showing you that for the last few days, giving you an idea, and that seems to kind of lead to these kind of conditions. So we're seeing those conditions all over the area now, and they're not on the good side. The temperatures are warm in Camarillo, 72 for this time of year. That's on the warm side. Humidities are very low. That's the dangerous stuff, how dry things are at 12%. The winds kind of stable 60 miles per hour. That's where you get the real danger with these fires. And you can see it set up in a true Santa Ana wind profile, meaning those winds coming out northeast and blowing across. And here's what happens that makes it particularly difficult for the Camarillo, Malibu area. Normally you think a little closer to the coastline, things are cooler, a little more moisture in the air. However, in a Santa Ana condition, those winds come out cold on the mountain spots, come down the hillsides, heat up, and then just extend and really kind of build up towards the coast. So many times you're going to see actually temperatures cooler on the inland spots than those coastal spots. So now the coastal spots that should be cool and a little more moisture in it are the opposite. They're warmer, they're drier as long as this Santa Ana condition continues, and that is going to be the case. So we see those fires there. We can see those winds right now. Again, in that steady range, 15, 20, 25 miles per hour, but those gusts, the dangerous gusts going 30, 50, 30 miles per hour. So those gusts that really kind of pick things up, move embers across one spot to the next, really causing those fires to spread. That's the real concern when those big, strong gusts pull up, and they're really strong, and there's going to continue. We see kind of moving through tonight into tomorrow. Those winds still out of that northeast of profile, blowing from the inland spots, heating up, picking up intensity, heading towards the coast, all the smoke in play too, and we'll see conditions like this. So we're looking at the winds not dying down very much at all in that Moore Park area here over the next few hours. We're still in that approaching 40 mile per hour range, 38, 32, and when it kind of calms down with big quotation marks, we're only looking at 29, 30 miles per hour. So strong through the rest of this afternoon, into tonight, into tomorrow, still in that 20, 30 mile per hour range. That's some dangerous things. Kind of graphic of how those winds are really working up. You can see the areas in the purple. Those are those real strong winds. So yeah, of course, Santa Clarita we're showing there, approaching 40 miles per hour there. The areas in the purple, those are your real intense winds. Continuing forward now through tonight into tomorrow, those winds are strong and staying with us tonight into the morning hours as well. We don't even get any kind of relief from the wind part of this until we head towards around Thursday, even then Thursday afternoon, finally, right about 6, 7 o'clock. Then we see it start to calm down as far as as the intensity of the winds. The dry conditions are still there, so that's still going to be part of a weather picture to watch out for. So as we see those winds in that profile, northeast towards the west, heating up, compressing, and really causing more concerns, that'll be part of that weather picture. Again, right now, 3:05, we're seeing temperatures on the north side, and the wind speeds very strong, 56 miles per hour, Santa Clarita, down toward 5 around Malibu. Those are dangerously strong winds, so that's going to hold in place now, and sadly, next few hours too. All right, Colleen, all yours.
Danny, it is so hard to get live images from the left-hand side. Of course, we see all that activity in the weather forecast. But again, we are learning that there is going to be a press conference on this fire. We are certainly going to take it. It's scheduled for 4 p.m. But again, we are going to be updated on the scope of devastation. But you don't have to guess. It is just a devastating fire that we are seeing right now. Again, and we have crews that
I got you coming in behind me.
We all know how hard it is to get to Camarillo from Los Angeles. But again, we know that the press conference is going to be happening, and we are certainly going to take it live to get all the details.
Yeah, and Chris Christie, you certainly lost count of how many homes have gone down.
Medic 34, go ahead.
It is just a tragic situation for folks who live in this neighborhood. When they come back, they will not recognize their own neighborhood, because this entire section near Altamont Way, where you see another large home going up right now, this Santa Cruz area, Old Coach Drive, Golden Spur, Garrido Drive. When we first arrived on scene, there were a handful of homes on fire in this area, and now, just a few minutes later, we're talking about dozens of homes that are completely gone. And as you could tell from this shot, they are trying to kind of engage in structure protection where possible. But for the most part, there is no fighting these fires. These fires, once these embers get under the eaves and into the attic, the home is essentially gone. There is just not enough resources to keep up with the rapid spread of this fire. Here is a unique example of them trying to at least put some of the flames out. The home is gone, but at least they're trying, because the more the fire burns, the more embers are spreading. And it's really a game of whack-a-mole. There's not much whacking this mole with the resources they have. They can only tackle them with the hand crews that they have available. Yeah, Trevor, we do have fire off of South Mountain and as well as South. Even that trying to confirm that it is in fact in the river bottom. Get a handle on this.
Probably looking at starting some type 1 district off the phone with Ventura. Would you like to utilize those from the
flames
incident,
or
or
go of the house in that roof, and it just certainly ignites so quickly. We've seen homes
copy fire being
just in a
established
matter
now in the
of
river
20
bottom in
minutes
the
go
Ventura
entirely
River,
up in flames.
and confirming you need additional alpha
That's how
to the
fast it
area.
happens, sometimes even less than that. And we're watching one
That's
after another.
affirmative. We're going to have a threat to all the industrial off of Mission Rock.
Shot, because he's about to do a water drop right there on one of the homes. It's so hard. Look at that.
Okay.
A complete miss
Get headed your way.
because of the wind. He's right over the house. He's trying to aim it. By the way, he's taking the wind into consideration. And even that is almost futile, because the minute he drops the water, the wind is just spraying the water across the neighborhood, and hardly any of the fire was even touched. That's how hard and challenging this firefight is. And anything, look at it, even trash bins catching on fire, trees, roofs, golf course. I mean, you name it. The car, anything can catch on fire once those embers get caught up in those flammable materials. And you can see, if we widen out, there's a large layer of thin smoke. And wherever you see the darker smoke, that thick black smoke, that's a new house that's caught on fire. And every time we do that, we zoom in, and as fast as you find the black smoke, you'll find a brand new house that is just catching on fire.
Wow, so sad. And you can see, Chris, you're an air server. We know that there are obviously limitations for fixed wing aircraft to get into this firefight. But are you feeling any of the powerful winds while you're in the helicopter?
Oh, we certainly are. It is extremely bumpy up here. The winds in excess of 50 knots per hour up here. Down there, even a little bit heavier at times with those really heavy gusts. And it was really evident right there, as you can see that last water drop. I mean, just how far the water was spraying.
Somebody's got an open mic. I'm Fire 22. Somebody's got an open mic. I'm Fire 22.
the fire, they're fighting the winds as they try and fly through these neighborhoods to put out these fires. They are feeling it even worse than we are up here. It is very bumpy up here, and Johnny is putting a lot of strength into flying this helicopter and keeping Air 7 safe. Down there, even those big Blackhawks are finding it very, very challenging to, effectively drop water on these fires based on these weather conditions.
Yeah, that water drop that we were talking about with the low humidity, that's almost a single digit. It just vaporized into the air. Those winds. It's not doing anything, and it's a shame to see that.
Very, very frustrating, and all they can do is the best they can. Honestly, these are some of the best trained fire crews in the entire country, and they are certainly being put to the test today. But you can bet that they are doing their best. Unfortunately, when we get these Santa Ana wind events, it is just a different story. This really reminds me of the fire. I think that is really the last time I have seen a fire spreading this rapidly through the suburbs. Obviously that was in Oak Park. That started out. Most of Malibu was affected by that fire, but here we are, and this is a day that the city of
Yeah, absolutely. And you are recalling some of the fires. We know Ventura County, Santa Barbara County. We know Los Angeles County. I'm thinking of that Hayescito fire and the T fire that happened in Santa Barbara and Montecito. You just saw these houses one after the other going up in flames. It was such a hard firefight, and it was just so heartbreaking. I just think about those poor homeowners who are not aware how long it takes for them to rebuild their lives. And Chris, we're going to switch gears for half a second, by the way, because this isn't the only fire that the firefighters are fighting right now, Ellen.
That's right. There is one that is being driven by Santa Ana winds as well. The broad fire, it shut down PCH in Malibu, and it burned at least 2 buildings that we know of. Right now it's holding at 50 acres. Let's check in with Ashley Mackey, who's covering that fire for us in Malibu. Ashley?
The reporting location is Highway 126.
Earlier we were down on Malibu Road, but that area is still struggling with some power and internet issues. So we hustled back here to Pacific Coast Highway and Malibu Canyon Road, where they were working hard earlier this morning, not only fighting the fire, but fighting the massive gusts of winds that we were getting. You can see all of the scorched earth. Picture this charm right across from your home. That's what the residents on Malibu Road are looking at right now.
Break, branch 10, copy.
All it takes is a spark, and here you can see one go inside this home on Malibu Road. Officials say the fire started Wednesday morning, and gusts of wind up to 50 miles an hour made the task of containing the fire much more difficult.
The smallest spark can get tossed and thrown, and then once that fire starts, boy, Mother Nature spreads it quickly. So it's important that we are in position, that we can get on these as fast as possible.
Down on Malibu Road, a manager of one of the properties here noticed his neighbor's hot tub caught fire and hopped the fence with a hose to help out.
It really was just, if this was my home, I would want to take care of it as well. So that was what was going through my mind. Just trying to grab the hoses as quick as I could, jumping the wall, getting the water on the fire, and seeing what I could do to help out.
PCH has been closed off in both directions, and other road closures have been making it difficult for people in the area. Jeff Runyon lives in Big Rock, the east end of Malibu, and he says he had to walk a stretch of Malibu Road to pick up his sons and nieces from Malibu High School and Middle School, where staff and students didn't have power.
It's business as usual in that you're aware of and trained to think about routes or escape routes. The part that's not like you cannot stop, but to be concerned, like what about the safety of the kids at school? It was kind of really chaotic at school. A lot of the younger kids were freaking out because no one could contact their parents because all the internet was out. So yeah, a lot of kids were worried, and it was just so chaotic.
Officials say, thankfully, there have been no reported injuries. Arson investigators were on scene here trying to figure out what exactly caused this fire. We'll have more updates as we get them. Right now, live in Malibu, Ashley Mackey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Oh, man, Ashley, you can see all that wind blowing so strong behind you. It's on the left-hand side. That is where Air 7 is getting this vantage point of the helicopter drops. Chris, you're watching this fire, the mountain fire happening right now in Camarillo. Again, we were talking about how it just seems fruitless for these poor helicopter pilots to drop the water because it just seems to completely evaporate before it hits the ground.
the minute they drop it. That's exactly right. These winds are make it really tough to execute really effective water drops. They're doing the best they can, and in some cases, it's definitely helping. It's better than nothing. But you've got some of the heaviest artillery that these agencies have. We've got several Sikorskys on the scene out here. We've got that 61, the S61 right there from that station here in Ventura. They've been dropping 1,000 gallons every 15 minutes. We've got another Super Puma that's been flying through here. There's the LA County Firehawk based out of Whiteman Airport. They've been sent out here to assist the Ventura County folks, and they are continuing to repeatedly refill and drop as fast as they can and try and get water on these fires. But look at that. That is another new structure that just caught on fire about 8 minutes ago, and already halfway up in flames as we look up Old Coach Drive. This is a street that we've been keeping an eye on. Already several dozen homes that have been a complete loss here in this part
we do have fire established in the river bottom. I've got 29 in place.
Is happening on
currently
after block.
No impact to any of the structures of Mission Rock. Any resources will be going into meet with 29. Additionally, next threat downstream of this would possibly be off wells, looking at the county GSA yard. I'm going to get with branch 7 to see if you guys got any resources
they're just not able to keep up. It's just continuing to leapfrog itself as the wind shifts in different directions.
The latest numbers were like 10,500 acres so far. Starting at 250 acres just this morning, so we've certainly seen this explode in size, and it's just been devastating to watch. We also have been having reporters on the ground as well. We saw Sophie in a neighborhood that was just devastated, like 5 homes around her, all burning to the ground. And we apologize to the people who are having to watch their homes go down in flames.
I'm working my way down to wells right now to get eyes on that end of it.
To have to watch it and not be able to do anything about it, it
and then I got 3 Charlies headed their way, 1 out of turn, and 2 Cal Fire BDU.
And Chris, you're watching it from there. You're seeing that big, long path of smoke. That is obviously where you're talking about some of these embers just going through, and just all it has to do is go into one little end of the house, and then it takes it.
Yeah, and it's look at the line that you're looking at right there. You know, when we talk about acreage, we say 10,000 acres. Normally we think of large parcels of forest. We think of, huge sections of mountain or forest.
This is not that. This is a suburban environment where entire acreages of a neighborhood are being taken out by this fire. Down there on the ground, it is a firestorm as the embers are flying through the neighborhood, flames and smoke. It is a nightmare scenario, and really thankful that at this point we haven't heard any reports yet of any injuries. We can only hope that over the course of the morning since this fire first started, that everybody was able to evacuate. We can only cross our fingers at this point. Right now, as far as I know, we have not received any reports of injuries or casualties, but this entire neighborhood, when they do come home, is in for a very tough time. It's just a really heartbreaking situation that I don't think is going to have an end until these winds die down. It's just very, very sad.
Can't even imagine. And we don't really think about Camarillo as being in a fire zone. Like you said, just as a suburban fire. And it's not near Angeles Forest. It's not near a lot of vegetation. These houses have a lot of brush clearance. They have at least the 100 feet perimeter around them, based on Ventura County firefighters, that they request you do that back in May. And then a lot of these roofs are fireproof roofs, or supposedly fireproof roofs, and it's just devastating to watch these large homes just go up in flames.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. There's a large home right there. That's going to be right along Altamont Way. At the end of Altamont Way, that house has its own vineyard in the backyard there. You can see this structure is an entire loss. We're looking up and down this ridgeline to the left, and we're seeing the same scenario play out. And at the same time, we're keeping an eye on the head of this fire as the winds continue to blow towards the ocean. As this fire gets closer and closer to the 101 freeway. There is a narrow stretch of freeway near Central Avenue where the smoke is enveloping a small section of the freeway. If it continues in that direction, it's going to start to affect traffic and potentially even shut down the freeway. Perhaps even jump the freeway if the embers are carried over the pavement there. But, you know, man-made barriers like streets and highways are really no match for a fire like this, for the embers to blow, and even cars on the freeway to catch on fire. I remember so clearly, maybe almost 8 or 9 years ago, when we had the Cajon Pass fire. I don't know if you guys remember that one, where you had just traffic jams of cars in the middle of that fire. When the fire jumped the freeway, you had people stranded in their vehicles. They don't want to see that, and so I can guarantee you CHP is keeping a close eye on the 101 freeway this afternoon.
No kidding. Boy, that will create its own headache if they have to shut down that highway. Let's go over to Sophie Flay. Sophie, you've been on the ground. You've been following this firefight and seeing some of the absolutely devastating images that we've been watching from above.
Yeah, Colleen, unfortunately, we have seen some of these devastating images throughout the afternoon, and it really happened so fast, and it's really due to those strong winds. We have seen so many different agencies, different departments come out here to try to help this firefight. It is an all-hands-on-deck situation, and I want to show you, you can see that this house behind me here, to the left, it's still, there are still some flames burning, but this house was standing before when we got here. And it's basically completely gone. And right next door, we are seeing the same thing. Again, we still see some flames, embers burning throughout this home. The big flames did stop. We did see some Culver City firefighters working on this. They had 2 hoses working on this a little bit earlier, and then they told me off camera. You know, I saw them packing up. I said, "Where are you guys going?" They said, "We just got a call that that our house is down the street that can still be safe," and so that's where they went. I mean, they are working so hard. They're working around the clock on this, and right across the street here, you can see again some small flames burning embers here, but this house also completely gone. I'm actually noticing here, this is a newer development right next door to this house that is again gone. We're seeing kind of a strong flame here. You know, hopefully it doesn't get much bigger. Wondering kind of what's going to happen here. I did see some Santa Barbara County firefighters pull up here not too long ago. So, you know, we're going to mention to them kind of what we're seeing here. But again, a really sad situation for this community, for this neighborhood, for their neighbors. 3 houses right across the street from each other, just completely gone here. And we're going to send it back to you guys. This is Valley Vista Drive, which is what
Sophie,
we've been on all day.
It looks like the engines have left that area, so the structure protection is pretty much done for that area, it looks like.
Yeah, that's right. They were out here. There were a lot of firefighters, fire trucks out here earlier today doing structure protection. But like I mentioned, so many of them have been getting word of houses nearby in this neighborhood on the street. There are houses that are on fire that can still be saved. So that is where they are rushing to try to save as much as they can for these.
Let me get back to you. I was going to relieve Chief Parker momentarily. I will get back to you and let you know.
We're going to go to Danny Romero in just a moment. We see the wind whipping your way around, the trees around, the wind. Danny, I mean, we're looking at the way the wind is treating this way, and we're hoping you're going to
moving in the south fire footprint, and then somebody grab branch 7 from him. The stuff at Springville and
the good bad news of this is that eventually we'll those winds. However, not anytime real soon, which is the bad news of it all. Now, give you an idea how they're kind of shaping up right now as far as the conditions in the general area there of Camarillo. Warm, 73 degrees, kind of a warmer temperature near the coastline as it is, and this time of year, fall weather is up there. Winds, the steady winds right now about 50 miles per hour, of course, out of the northeast. That's that Santa Ana wind.
We don't have the resources to break loose.
Dangerous gusts. Those are the ones that are really of concern. 2 things are wrong here. Santa Ana condition, it's always these northeast winds. They come out of the north.
Cold winds from this morning, but I like to at least get a couple of engines up in the clubhouse drive as this thing kind of progresses down to the south area footprint.
Increase the intensity too. You get
okay, I'll make it happen. Additionally, I have a Calprep dozer. I'm going to push over to that area to see what kind of work they can do down in the flat.
Them up as it heads towards the coastal area. So on the coast, you're going to see warmer conditions, drier conditions certainly, and that's what we're dealing with now with these fires, especially in that Malibu area. So there's the winds in that northeast profile blowing through the areas, and we're seeing those winds in that steady condition in that 15-30 mile per hour range. But check this out. We see winds usually diminish once we get to the middle of the day, certainly by 9 hours. What's the profile? Now look at 39 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour by 3 o'clock right now. And when it comes down, only comes down to about 29 or 30. So it never really diminishes, even when we get towards the evening hours as well. Now, of course, always sundowner winds. We talk about sundowner winds. The winds tend to increase there about that time of night. So we're going to see it continue strong. It never really lets up here, even into past midnight, into the early morning hours, even into tomorrow morning 9 a.m. still in that 29, 30 mile per hour range. So that's not good news. So look at the winds now. How it's going to be moving forward. So winds are getting intensity in the purple areas here. That's going to continue now through the afternoon hours. 6 p.m. night, still very strong winds in those areas and other areas as well. We move forward now until about into midnight, into tomorrow morning. Still pockets of stronger wind is still in effect here. Those gusts still in that 30, 40 mile per hour range. Not until we get to about Thursday, about noon, and then into the afternoon hours, finally we kind of calm down. So there is, yes, relief, but it's down the road, probably 24 hours from now. So we're seeing the winds at the moment. Those gusts are still in that really strong range. Purple indicates those 30, 40 mile per hour winds. So yes, relief is coming, just not right now, sadly. All right.
That's too bad. Okay, Danny, thank you very much. We're going to go back up to Christy, who's been up overhead. And Chris, getting close to those power lines, perhaps.
Yeah, this is near where the fire started, but some of this is evidence of this fire spotting just north of where we were earlier. We're actually several miles to the east now. We've moved east and away from the 101 freeway, where there are brand new structures catching on fire north of Bradley Road, near Bixby Road. It's a mixture of homes and farmland that are still burning and creating a lot of smoke that is continuing to blow towards the coast. But you can see, again, some of these larger homes that are catching on fire here in the Spirit
down the slope
area.
We don't have some inches in place, but we do have any issues down here. It's
guys, back to you.
probably a third of the way down to the bottom here by that subversion dam.
Each time we look at these devastating pictures, we do
Copy,
see
and Joseph sitting over there is going to make access via
try to get a handle of this, but
you're familiar from Maria and the South Park.
These strong winds, we know we are in red flag warning conditions. We know we're going to be dealing with this for quite some time. But again, just look at that, Ellen. You're going to see these palm trees. It's just no match. And you see these poor homeowners looking at their properties just going up before our eyes. And it's just such a sad image to see.
And it's been fortunate that we have not heard of any injuries. People have been heeding the warnings to evacuate. And they've warned people, to clear out before it's too late, because once you're trapped in there, it's really hard to get out, and you hinder the firefighters' efforts to get up into those Thank goodness, so far, no reports of anybody.
Looking for direction on where you'd like to.
It makes you kind of think if the first call came out around 8:50 this morning, maybe people are still home and they did have enough time to get everything
on Tax 11 for work off of Wells Road area as fire moves its way there.
We're going to talk about it as we approach 3:30 p.m. Our live coverage of this breaking news continues on ABC 7 streaming channel. You can also watch it live on our website, on your phone, and on your connected TV, anywhere you stream ABC 7 Los Angeles.
And here on TV, we're going to turn things over to David Muir for World News Tonight. We'll be back with Eyewitness News at 4 p.m. coming up.
Ventura from XLA 275 Alpha.
Unit calling for Ventura, repeat your ID and go ahead. You're staticky.
Unit 75 Alpha, striking leader. Did you have a request for evacuation on DeSeo Drive?
That's affirmative, 1090 DeSeo, 1090 DeSeo.
1090 DeSeo. We'll check it out. We're right here.
All right, welcome back. We are streaming live right now, continuously. This breaking news at Camera. You're looking at the mountain fire. Is happening. This started at just before 9 a.m. at 8:51 this morning. The first call came out, and again, we're looking at live images from Air 7. Chris Christie, we've been looking at this. We've been seeing the devastating images of these homes going up in flames. Absolutely no match for these strong winds that are really whipping through this area.
Going operations, guys. Yeah, Branch 7, I thought you were calling.
Colin, yeah, we're keeping
Yeah,
an eye on
there's
this
a Lima
fire as
that
it
checked
continues
if you want to grab
to
them on the
spread here.
command. I
We're
was
just trying
thinking
to
plug them in
our arms
on that spot that
around the
deputy officer's
size
talking
of this
about.
fire. You know, we talk about
I've got
10,000
a Chico Cal fire goes ahead that way. 214 just requested a Lima at the heel if you're comfortable with that. That's another consideration.
Of property, a combination
Yeah, like
of farmland
any
and
structure
suburban
protection along the walls first, and then we'll shift stuff over to the heel when we can. Understand
started
214
around Bixby Road. There is
Okay, I
fire on the
copy,
north
and then
side
I
of the
spoke with
resort.
Division 12. He's going to end up taking that new branch you were talking about. We're going to have the branch break between 7 and him at Santa Clara and LA Avenue. He'll capture the country club, wrapping around towards like the Briggs area.
To the 101 freeway, which we're also keeping a
I copy,
close
so Division 12, what we call it,
both on
branch
the
in
north
there.
side of the hills and the south
Yeah, that works.
side of the hills, north of Bradley Road, and that's creating a really tough situation for these firefighters to keep up with the fast pace of this fire, as it just is controlled by the wind.
Officer Division 12, I copy that traffic. I'll be assuming branch 8. Available.
And those embers are flying through these neighborhoods, creating a real nightmare for this part of Camarillo. Just an absolute terrible day here in Ventura County as these homes go up one after another.
Clean it up as you need with 7 of 10. Thank you.
The fire
Deputy officers out there too.
That fire is continuing to encroach on the one. We're seeing lots of precision water drops, upwards of a half a dozen helicopters at least, making repeated drops on these homes, a rare sight.
Agent 121, Deputy Officer.
Drops on urban environments like this, but in this case you can see they are using those helicopters to drop water on the house fires to at least try to tamp down the
Hey, Noah,
embers,
you're going to be
which are
switched over to branch 7,
seeding the fire
direction.
that is basically
Branch 8,
blocking itself.
VTAC 13, working for Chief Horton. Just kind of size up the range. There's also some ranches that are northy that we might need to put some inches as this backs down.
You talk about the winds. These are the worst kinds of fire condition, worst kind of fire condition that we can have here in Southern California when the Santa Ana winds kick up, and they are just so particularly strong today. And I've been watching throughout the afternoon. We were covering it earlier, and just watching the images that you're bringing to us and our viewers on Air 7 is just so devastating. Entire neighborhoods destroyed. I mean, 40 to 50 homes. We don't have an exact count, but it seems that way. It seems really reminiscent of a war zone. It is just so hard to really, I mean, look at that image right there. And think of all of the families that have lost their homes, and not just the structure of their homes, but everything in their homes, and who didn't have time to grab the things that are important to them. And now they are watching likely from another area at this devastation, and I just feel for them this afternoon.
Oh gosh, our heart goes out to them. And I was saying it earlier too, but you know, we know a lot of the insurance companies, they've been trying to pull out of coverage in California because of incidents like these. And Giovanna and Chris, I think we all know, once something devastating happens to your home, you really are at the mercy of your insurance company, and it is such. It's already hard enough to see your home go through this, and all your property and all your life savings and heart and soul go up in flames. And then the painstaking work of trying to rebuild it, my heart just doubly sinks for these homeowners that have to go through it. Chris, you're looking at these images as well, and you have to just feel for these poor homeowners.
Yeah, and to your point, Colleen, there are homes in
All right, well,
even dreamed of being affected by a fire like this. This isn't exactly a ripe fire zone. Certainly, some of the bigger properties on near the foothills would be more susceptible to a fire had one started. But there's a good chunk of this neighborhood that probably never even dreamed of something like this, and may not even have fire insurance. But you could see this is just their unlucky day, because this fire is continuing to rip through this neighborhood down there on the ground. It is a literal firestorm, Giovanna. It is not hyperbole to compare it to a war zone. There are portions of this fire, of this neighborhood, in and around the Old Coach Drive area, Golden Spur, Garrido Drive, that look like they've been completely bombed out. It looks like somebody dropped a bomb on the neighborhood, and all you see, in some cases, not even the frames are left. You just see the foundations, and it's just a very, very sad situation here. And of course, it's got no end in sight until those winds die down. I'm very curious, if those sundowner winds are going to be an issue later on. Oftentimes they are in these situations, but I can only hope that the winds are going to start dying down somewhat soon. I know that he said there's no end in sight. I think Danny mentioned it earlier, but it can't come soon enough for this neighborhood.
Absolutely, and the fact that this happened so quickly, in just a matter of hours, there is no preventing it. There's no predicting it. I mean, we know the Santa Ana winds are coming. We're told, but to think, okay, it's going to hit my neighborhood today, and in this quick fashion, you just really can't wrap your head around it. No. So when you're in your home and you see the flames coming at you and you just have to grab and go, it's just, I just can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure it will induce some post-traumatic stress.
Right. And when you hear red flag warnings, a lot of us know that the fire departments, they're on alert, but a lot of the homeowners who are obviously in areas that are prone to wildfires, they've seen this. But again, Chris, this is an area of Camarillo, Ventura County, that is not accustomed to seeing these types of fires. They're really right in the agricultural area. We know Camarillo, it's not a highly populated town as it is. And to see that this one area is just being demolished, eaten from these flames is just so sad to see.
Right. And we have seen that many of these homeowners have done their due diligence with brush clearance. The homes that were in Camarillo Heights, sort of surrounded, like in the foothill area, they did their brush clearance. Yeah. But this fire, that didn't matter in this fire and in these weather conditions, because as we know, the embers, the winds blow the embers, the hopscotching from home to home and neighborhood to neighborhood, and it just seems so random.
It really does. I always think it's so unfair. We did talk about wind events, and any of us who have lived in areas where there are tornadoes, there's just no rhyme or reason for why one house is demolished and why one house next door is still standing. And speaking of those homes and watching the devastation unfold right before our eyes is Sophie Flay. Sophie, you're on the ground. You were looking at that one house. It was really producing an inferno from it. I don't know if it's still producing that fire, but again, it had sort of a different type of fire activity.
Yeah, Colleen, you're right. Actually, if we swing over here, it was kind of right above this white Carver. We saw a really big flame. Actually, right after we were done live before, just a few minutes ago, I ran over to some Santa Barbara County firefighters that I saw just parked down the street, and it was like, guys, I don't know if there's anything you could do, but there's a huge flame, and
Nick, were you went in at the water diversion, all that stuff still on the stop sign?
Hopefully that home is okay and that home is saved. It doesn't look like it touched that home. It looks like
right where the orchard meet the diversion. It's all staying on the Shuffle Mountain slope right now.
Firefighters are still actually back there
sheltered by the wind.
To try to protect the area and the
okay, Gabby, I'm going to shift back up to
okay,
Mission
but if
Rock.
you look right next door, I mean, this is
and then you have Division 12 branch 8 coming into this area to start lining out resources, and then I put the supervisor's phone for United Water into the cabinets if we need any contact there. I said feel free to use any water for dip sites or anything we need there.
That's kind of the only thing you can make out of what's left of this home. And it's really sad because right across the street, we see something similar. I mean, we literally watched the house that you're looking at now go up in flames. And then right next door to them, same thing. As soon as we got in the air around 1 p.m. today here on Valley Vista Drive, we saw these houses go up in flames and move the fire and the wind move very, very fast. And these homes are just gone. I mean, you were saying unfair, Colleen. It is unfair. It is so unfair. These are their neighbors. This is their community. This is where people have grown up. These are families. I mentioned earlier today, we're at the beginning of November.
All right, guys,
the holidays
I'm going to end the stream here, and I'm going to go to our other YouTube channel to see
with their close ones, with their neighbors.
If we can get better
it really is It's just been devastating to
followership
watch
there.
all
We're only getting
afternoon. It really has been.
164 people in here.
You know what, Sophie? It really has been. And in these images we're still seeing from Air 7 on the image right next to you. And it is just so hard to see your backdrop. It just
it's hard for us to watch. I can imagine for you, Sophie, being right there and in the middle of the smoke and having to wear that mask. It really is something.
And if followership doesn't,
thank you for your coverage.
Yeah, we'll be checking back in with you, Sophie. We want to get to the latest, though, right now. We know at least 10,000 acres have burned. Several people have been injured.